Let's take a look at an example animation. Please note that this tutorial was created on an iPad Pro using Animation Pro version 1. Your screens may look a little different. In Animation Pro, you can do everything from simple stick figure animations through to complex cutout style animations. Now there was a lot going on in that short example, so let's step through it slowly so that I can explain all of the different features that I've used. Animation Pro has an integrated figure editor. You can use it to create everything from simple stick figures, as shown here, to complex character rigs containing images, text, or even mouths that automatically lip sync. The items within figures can be manipulated in a lot of different ways. Here I'm bending the figure's torso and adjusting the colour and tint of the figure's head. Next, as the figure begins to bend forward, I've actually made a quick substitute. This version of the figure has an image for its torso, compressed along its x-axis and tinted black. As the figure continues to bend forward, I've gradually removed the tint and rescaled the image. This makes it look as if the stick has magically morphed into a white shirt. I've then repeated this process to make the bottom half of the figure's torso appear, followed by his legs, his feet, and then his upper and lower arms. Animation Pro has a virtual camera that can be zoomed, panned and rotated. Here I've zoomed the camera in. Whilst animating, it's possible to select items in a figure and then open them in the Animation Pro image creator for editing. So I've done that to create different versions of the figure's hand so that it appears to grow from his wrist. Now at this point I actually have an entirely new figure substituted in that has both hair and a face. They're just invisible right now. So I'll bring them in by adjusting their opacity. You'll notice that the hair bends as it appears. The facial features scale as they appear, and the head adjusts its colour and border width before being replaced by the final image. Next, I add the figure's tie. Here I've bent and tinted the tie so that it flops into place and turns green. To complete the figure, I turn his hair brown and substitute his head to make it appear that he's turned it to the front. Okay, so now we'll see the background image slide in. In this case, the background is actually a figure, distorted to give the appearance of perspective. It slides in under the figure and locks into place as the distortion is removed. Now the figure doesn't look quite right, as he really should have both a reflection and a shadow. In Animation Pro, you can clone figures to produce reflections and shadows, and the clones will animate automatically as the original, or parent, figure is changed. Next, the Animation Pro icon rolls in. If you look carefully, it leaves some spray in its wake. In Animation Pro, figures can be blurred to produce effects like that. When the icon comes back and hits the figure, I've bent it at the point of contact. A substitution has also been made to place the figure into a side-on position, and the figure's mouth is open because I've lip-synced a scream. And finally, as the figure flies off, I've stretched out his tie. Now it's time for the crab to scuttle in from the right. At this point, I've zoomed the virtual camera and applied some depth of field to automatically blur the background image. As the crab grabs the icon, I've zoomed the camera back out, substituted the icon for a version with a hole in it, and added a new figure to represent air escaping. The new figure is actually just a quick drawing of some white lines, blurred using the figure inspector on the animation screen. Finally, I've simulated the icon deflating by bending, shearing and scaling the image in the figure. So if you put all of that together, with some sound effects from Animation Pro's library, and one or two recorded using the iPad's microphone, you get the animation I played at the beginning of this tutorial. I hope you found that as informative as I did. Thanks for watching.